Hi guys, it's Actual Mono. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. I've got another spotlight video for you today. Yay! And it's another German brand. It's the second one I've done of late, shall we say. So this brand is called Der DUFT, which translated into English means the scent, I think. The smell. I think it's the scent. That's what it is. It's quite simple, quite minimalistic, which is the entire, I guess, feeling of this brand in terms of how they portray themselves. So the visionary owner behind this brand is a guy called Anselm, who contacted me and sent me these. I was really excited. His name's Anselm Skogstad. I really hope I've said that right, Anselm, and not offended you in any way. But he is a perfumer himself. He studied in Grasse, as far as I know, and the perfumes are made by him, and also collaborating with a couple of other perfumers that he admires, one of them being Miguel Matos, who you guys might know. I would say that I'm kind of a mini fan of Miguel already. What I've tried of his stuff I've really liked. I want to try more, I will say that. And the third guy is called Alexandre Ilan, who is a guy that works for Simrise, which is one of the really big flavorist perfume companies like Givaudan and also Firmenich, so one of those big ones. So I must admit I wasn't aware of who Alexandra was before, but I'm glad that I've got to try these. So there are 5 in the line. They are a young brand. They only launched last year, 2020, and in between me receiving these and now, a new one has popped up. There's a 6th fragrance that's appeared on their website. It's called ACT. It says it's coming soon, and it's made by Prin Lomros. So if any of you guys know him, I'm already a big fan of Prin's work. I've got 5 or 6 of his fragrances. Love him, so that's kind of exciting. So the fragrances are 120 euros. They come in 50ml bottles. I have one. I have Pride, which is one of the ones that Miguel made. Grasse is an exception. That one's 160 euros. I think it's a limited edition, and the Prin one's going to be 140. But it's a minimalist brand. They don't have what shall I say? They don't have elaborate stories to go with them. There's no, backstory of this is the inspiration and what you should be smelling. It's very simplistic, where it's here's the name, here's the notes, and you just interpret that however you want to. So I like that. I love a backstory, but sometimes I just want to smell things and make my own conclusions. So they come like this. They're really cute. Pride happens to be my favorite of the bunch, so I'm so glad it's the one I've got as a bottle. But yeah, they're cute. They've got magnetic lids as well, which is always a nice touch for someone like me who picks up my bottles like that quite a bit because they're often behind other things. So yeah, they're really cute. The sprayers are really good. I don't want to spray this on the table. I think I've just sprayed that into my coffee. I'll be drinking Pride today. So yeah, the perfumes are made by 3 guys, 3 very handsome gentlemen. This is Anselm himself. Hello there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start smelling them, and I'm going to start with the 2 that Anselm made, since he's the brand owner and it's his vision. So I'm going to start with Grasse. I will make a point of saying I love that the brand sends you individual blotters with the perfume named on it as well. It makes my job so much easier. I don't have to get a pen out. I don't have to leave the samples next to what I've sprayed. I can just spray it on the named card and I can be done with it. It's great. So I will say Grasse is my 2nd favourite, and I think this one's called Grasse because Anselm studied in Grasse, and I think he made this perfume in Grasse as well. So this one I absolutely love. I must say I like the opening more than the dry down. It's very beautiful. So let me just get the notes for you. So the notes of Grasse are bergamot, lotus, rose, lavender, jasmine, magnolia, aldehyde, fig, patchouli, iris, and vanilla. So I'm fortunate enough to have visited Grasse twice actually, and I will say when you're in Grasse, you're never further than 2 meters away from a bar of soap. There is soap everywhere. It's like London with rats, except much nicer. There's soap on every street corner, and this to me smells like the soaps that you see in Grasse everywhere, the combined smell of all of the soaps that you get there. And it also reminds me of when I was a child and used to get these bath cubes that came in foil that you would fizz in the bath. I guess, you know, like an archaic version of a bath bomb, something like that. But this one is the floral of the line. It's the floral of the 5. To me, it's the most floral that there is. And it's got a powdery veil. It's kind of a rose violet, I guess, with a soft, it's not super soft, but there is like a powderiness behind it. It's very, very pretty, this one. Like I said, it's my second favourite. Really nice. It's kind of a delicate, tender, purple pink floral kind of smell. And that's the opening. I do like it as well on card more than my skin, I will say that, but I love the opening of it especially. It's very, very pretty. I'm not sure why it's a limited edition, but if you do get the sample set from them, because they do have a discovery set actually, which also we love. We love when we can try the line. Yeah, it's really nice. To me, it's like a nod to the way that the shops in Grasse smell, because obviously there's perfume everywhere, soap everywhere, but it doesn't feel vintage. It's kind of modern in that way. It's very elegant floral, and it's super pretty, this one. If you like violets and roses, but it's got this, I want to say a little bit like a fizzy powderiness. It's really stunning one. When I first put this on a card, I went, whoa. It's one of those moments, you know. Oh, I've just realised the notes are actually on the card as well. Makes my life even easier. Bergamot, lotus, rose, lavender, jasmine, patchouli, iris, vanilla. So yeah, it hasn't, to me, in the opening, you can't feel any of the heavier notes, but I will say that when it dries, it actually turns a lot greener, and it does share a similarity with Cinematic, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But for now, I'm going to move on to the second one that Ansel made, and it's called Monopteros. I don't know if I'm going to be saying that right, but here you go, you can see. This one? So this one is coconut, aldehyde, coffee, neroli, raspberry, cucumber, rose, nutmeg, black pepper and cardamom. So this one I would describe as being one of the 2 fruities of the bunch. There's two fruities, there's a floral, there is a chypre, and then there's one that's kind of greenish. But for now we'll talk about Monopteros, or Monopteros. I don't know what the inspiration is. But to me this is, ultimately I can smell raspberry at first, and there's something a little bit savoury behind. It's kind of, I want to say something a bit bread-like, but it's not, it doesn't smell like baking bread or freshly baked bread. But there's something back there that is, you've got this raspberry at the forefront, really punchy, kind of bright raspberry smell. And then there's an element of greenery. And what could it be that would make it do that? Maybe it's coffee. It doesn't smell of coffee, but there is something cooked in it. So maybe it's the roasted part of the coffee, I don't know. I would say don't let coffee put you off if that's a deal breaker note for you, because it's not really about that. This is way more about fruit to me than anything else. You can definitely smell coconut in here as well, but it doesn't ever go tropical. As I said, the raspberry is the main star. So the coconut is behind the raspberry, and it's a touch. It's used with a very light hand in this one. So again, if coconut's a deal breaker, don't let that put you off. This is a bright fragrance. It's a fun fragrance. It's kind of flirty, I would say. It's youthful, and I can detect the lightest florals, the lightest fresh florals in here, white florals, but really it's about raspberry. What I'll do is I'll revisit this one, I'll come back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the 2 that Miguel made. Pride. This one is one that I've been wearing a lot recently. I'm going to actually spray this one on my skin. I love this. I think it's super cool. So from what I know, when Miguel made this, his vision of what he's going to make when it comes to Pride is he went down the road of him being proud of what he makes. He's proud of his work, proud of his, I guess, talent, because he's a very talented perfumer. So he decided to make a chypre, because chypres are among the most complex and, I guess, difficult to make. The chypres can go in a lot of directions, and Let me get the notes for you and then I'll tell you how it smells. This is super cool. I love it. Oh my gosh. One sec. So this one is bergamot, narcissus, carrot seed, jasmine, cashmeran, amber, sandalwood, patchouli and moss. So it is a chypre composition. To me, it's definitely the most complex of all of the fragrances in this line. It's a modern chypre that feels, again, quite fruity, but the way it smells to me is, it feels like the entire composition, there's crazy birds outside, oh my gosh. It feels like the entire composition has a veil of honey over it. It doesn't smell of honey, it's not a honey perfume, but sometimes a composition feels like it's been blanketed by something else, and the overall impression is something that's like a semi-sweet honey, and I really like it. You can feel the moss in the base. For a reference point, this reminds me of another perfume I've tried by a great brand called Arquiste. They've got a chypre that's a nod to the 70s, which is called Ella or Aya. It's in a white bottle, and this is in that kind of realm of chypre. It's a sweet chypre, but not overly so. You can detect the greenery, I can detect the florals here. I wouldn't say it's necessarily citrusy, and that's quite a strong characteristic of a chypre. It has a citrusy opening, but this is really, really beautiful. I really enjoy wearing this. It's got an elegance to it. It's got a little bit of glamour going on. It feels very womanly, I will say that, but you know, we don't care anymore. We wear whatever we like, don't we, guys? It's really nice. I can feel something. It's a tiny bit waxy as well. With chypres, you know, you really have to wear them. They can go in all different directions and take you all over the place. And this one, every time I wear it, I smell something else. And I especially love this when it's in the air. If I spray it on my hand and then I catch a waft of it, it smells really, really expensive. And chypres do that anyway, I think. But this one's definitely my favourite, so I'm really glad. Thank you, Anselm, for actually choosing to send me this. Who knew that this would be my favourite? So I'm going to move on to Miguel's second one, and it's called Cinematic. This one is petitgrain, ginger, lemon, cardamom, jasmine, rose, carnation, ylang ylang, vanilla, coumarin, musk, cashmeran, civet, moss and amber. So this sounds like a chypre again, but to me, it doesn't feel as chypre-y as Pride. But this one I really like as well. It's pretty cool. Oh, this is so cool. So this one for me is about ginger cardamom. It's very clean and spicy at the same time. And this one is the one that I said is the greenest. I wouldn't put it in the category of green, but it sits somewhere over that side of the fragrance wheel, if that makes sense. I really like this one, and when I first smelled it, I thought, this reminds me of something, that one other perfume that I've tried that sits around this area, and it's called Stories something. I can't remember who it's by, I do apologise. But when I looked it up, I realised that they shared quite a few similar notes, the ginger, the cardamom. This one is more citrusy in the opening than Pride, even though it does have that chypre feeling, but it's not as obviously chypre-y as Pride. That's what I'm trying to get at here. It's kind of different, it's much more modern. This one's got a touch of the throwback in it. You can definitely feel the spice. It's the spiciest of the bunch. I can definitely detect carnation, which, you know, as far as I know, is made up of cloves and pepper and sometimes ylang ylang. So it's like a citrusy, spicy carnation with some added cardamom in there as well, and I really like it. It's got a little bit of a Coca-Cola-y type smell to it in the opening, but when this one dries, it's greenery. That's why I put it in the green category. Cashmeran, moss, amber, coumarin. I don't know. The moss must be the biggest part, but it smells more like, it doesn't really smell mossy green, it's more leafy green in the dry down, if that makes sense. So, oh, we've got someone hoovering now. It's constant around here. I like this. It's another one that's vibrant. All of these fragrances, although they are unique to each other, there's an openness to them, and there is a vibrancy to them. There's a playfulness, and there's a modernistic feeling to all of them. So this one I really like. This is the most citrusy, spicy, gingery, cardamom, and then goes green. So the last one is, I'm going to call her the party girl of the bunch. It's called Bubble, and this is the only one that's made by Alexandra Ilan, Simrise perfumer. And this is definitely the party girl one. This is the, hey, do you want to go out, guys? Super fun. I love this one. This is the other fruity one. So the notes are champagne, cassis nectar, rose chamomile, white musk, sandalwood, and amberette. And this is really, really cool. So the champagne thing, I always find it very clever when you have like a champagne or a wine note in perfume. I personally don't like things that smell like a boozy wine. I don't mind the smell of wine or champagne in perfume as long as it doesn't feel boozy. And that's what this is. It's a nice, bright, definitely you can feel champagne, the champagne accord. So it does smell like that. It smells fun. And you can really smell the cassis here. So if you've ever gone to a fancy pants place and had a champagne where they put, you know, a bit of chambord in it, or a hibiscus flower in syrup, you know, this has got it's like blackcurrant champagne, and it's really, really nice. It's one of those not taking itself too seriously perfumes. I really like it. It's so fun. It's kind of like Ribena and Champagne had a baby. And really fun to wear. I don't know where I would wear this. I guess on New Year's Eve or something. Where would you wear something that smells like champagne? But if you don't be worried, you're not going to smell like you've just woken up with a hangover. Don't worry. It's very well done. There's a really nice woody streak that goes through this one as well. And it's just really enjoyable, and I love the name Bubble as well. It's just, when I first heard that, I thought that's the one that intrigued me. So the champagne part of it is, to me, in the opening of the fragrance, it stays for probably about 45 minutes, but then it goes really, really fruity. And then again, this one does kind of go a little bit green. And like I said, I wanted to touch again on the fact that Grass, my second favourite one, the floral one, the dry down of Grass shares something with the Miguel Cinematic. It's a similar kind of greenery in there. Gosh, the ginger and cardamom are really coming out of this now. Ginger, cardamom is the main things here with Cinematic. But anyway, back to Bubble. Yeah, so what else is in here? Sandalwood, amberette, white musk, rose, chamomile. But it's like a cocktail. It's a fun, bright cocktail. Clean, easy to wear, just really nice one. I like all of them for different reasons, but I will say that Pride and Glass are definitely my two favourites. So for now, that is my spotlight on Der DUFT, another brand from Germany. I am becoming more and more intrigued by brands from Germany now, because obviously there's one that I shouted about a lot recently, and I'm just glad that I got to try these, and I'm so glad that I have Pride in my collection now. So thank you, Anselm. I'm really intrigued to see what Prin's gonna make for them. But for now, that's it. I hope you liked this overview. The website I will link in the description below. They sell sample sets if you wanted to go and discover the brand. And obviously they sell their perfumes there as well. But yeah, this is Der DUFT. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'm Ouch Mono, trying to make the world smell better. One video at a time. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.